There's something most people carry quietly, a feeling that they do not fully belong to the world around them. Not loneliness exactly, something older than that, something buried. And science is starting to explain why.
For most of human history, people moved. They crossed mountains, followed rivers, wandered into lands with no name on any map. The earliest humans were not settlers, they were seekers. Researchers who study ancient migration patterns have found that the human drive to explore is biological. There is a specific variation in a gene associated with dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, that appears at much higher rates in populations with long histories of migration. That restlessness you feel when life starts to feel too small is not a flaw in your character. That is your ancestors speaking through your blood.
When those ancient travelers finally stopped and built communities, they did not forget where they came from. They encoded it into stories, songs, rituals, and symbols long before writing existed. Anthropologists have found that oral traditions in some indigenous communities preserve detailed geographic records of events that happened over 10,000 years ago. Floods, coastlines that no longer exist. These were not myths, they were archives. And somewhere in the traditions that felt ordinary growing up, there was real ancient information that someone worked very hard to make sure you received. Now consider what happens when that thread breaks, when families scatter, when cultures are suppressed, when languages disappear. Researchers describe what follows as a disruption of narrative identity, the internal story a person uses to understand who they are. Studies on communities that experienced forced displacement consistently show a quiet but persistent sense that something essential is missing. And the remarkable thing is that most people who feel this way have no conscious memory of what was lost. They only feel the shape of the absence. The human brain is built for story. Neuroscientists have shown that when a person hears a narrative, their brain does not process it as information. It processes it as experience. The neural patterns activated when you listen to a story about courage or survival are nearly identical to the patterns activated when you live through those things yourself. This is why a stranger's story can make you cry. Your brain experienced it, not metaphorically, literally.
But here is what researchers in resilience science keep returning to. Human beings are not just shaped by what they inherit, they are shaped by what they reach for. Many people who lose their ancestral thread do not simply drift, they begin to search. They gather fragments, find elders, recover forgotten languages, old recipes, faded photographs, and piece by piece they reconstruct something new, a living identity built from everything that survived.
There's a concept in Japanese aesthetics called kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. The philosophy holds that the breakage and the repair are not things to hide, they are part of the object's history. A similar idea exists in the Akan tradition of West Africa through the symbol of Sankofa, a bird flying forward while looking back, representing the wisdom of reclaiming what was lost in order to move ahead. In nearly every enduring civilization, the mark of difficulty was not shame, it was record. You were not born into a clean, unbroken line. Nobody was. Every person alive today is the descendant of someone who survived something impossible, adapted, and kept going. They carried stories in their mouths and hope in their feet. They did not know your name, but in a way that science is only beginning to fully describe, they were thinking of you. So when you feel that unnamed heaviness, that quiet sense of being adrift or unfinished, consider that you may not be broken at all. You may simply be standing at the edge of something you have not yet explored. And somewhere inside you, deeper than memory, you already know how to find your way back to yourself.